Hello everyone. Today I will discuss the insecticide poisoning by carbamates. This is one of the common poisoning which resembles organophosphate poisoning, but its prognosis is different. Now this topic covers a large number of competencies which are interrelated among the subjects of second MBBS and final MBBS. And these include pH 1.51, pH 1.52 in pharmacology, FM 9.5 in forensic medicine, CM 3.8 in community medicine, IM 21.4 in internal medicine, general medicine, and PE 14.3 in pediatrics. So it is an interrelated topic, an integrated topic, and I will try to cover in brief. The insecticides are the agents which kill insects. These are used for crop protection in agriculture, and in domestic use they are used to kill common pests, household pests. Now there is a different way of classifying. The simple classification will be synthetics and natural substances. Among the synthetics, organophosphates, organochlorine compounds, carbamates, synthetic pyrethroids, manganese combinations in derivatives are some of the synthetics which are commonly used in agriculture. Natural substances like rotenone and pyrethrum alkaloids are also used as insecticides. You may remember that rotenone use is associated with development of Parkinsonism, and there is a etiological relationship. Carbamates are N-methyl derivatives of the carbamic acids. In essence, they are reversible cholinesterase inhibitors. Some of them are used therapeutically, and many others are used as pesticides or insecticides. The actions and toxicity is similar to those of organophosphorus compounds, except the duration of the manifestations and toxicity is somewhat shorter, usually 24 hours. Combined use of carbamates and organophosphorates may result in a clinical picture of organophosphorus poisoning, and that should be used like that. Some of the examples of carbamates are LD-CAR, carbofuran, carbaryl, ethyneno, carb, phenobucarb, oxamil, methomyl, pyrimicarb, propoxur, and trimethocarb. And some of them are actually used in India. For example, propoxur is Bigon. It's commonly used one. LD-CARB is a potent and quick-acting reversible cholinesterase inhibitor. As I told you earlier, therapeutically useful reversible cholinesterases can be carbamates or non-carbamates. Among the carbamates which are used therapeutically are the classical physostigmine and neostigmine, damacarium, pyridostigmine and aminonium. Currently, physostigmine, neostigmine, rivastigmine are useful. Pyridostigmine is also used in myasthenia gravis. Among the cognitive enhancers, rivastigmine is a carbamate. Now, among the non-carbamates, which are reversible cholinesterase inhibitors and may actually not show the carbamate-like poisoning, is just to cover the topic. The drugs include edrophonium, which is a quaternary ammonium compound, a very short-acting reversible agent. Then cognitive enhancers are donepezil, galantamine, tecrin, and hyperzine A, which is an alkaloid. It will be interesting to note that there are many drugs useful clinically which have carbamate structures, but we do not know. So some of the drugs which are actually carbamates or related compounds include meprobamate, methocarbamol, tolnaftate, which is an antifungal agent, bambuterol, which is a bronchodilator. It is also interesting to note that in telithromycin, which is a macrolide antibiotic like erythromycin, there is an addition of a carbamate moiety lactone ring in its structure. So these make unique drugs which are actually carbamate compounds. Now, among the pesticides and insecticides, insecticide carbamates are LD-carb, carbofuran, phenobucar, propoxar, carbaryl, methomyl, carbofuran, and thiodicarb. Fungicides are butylate, molinate, cycloate, and pebulate. Herbicides are mancozeb, which is a manganic compound, and thiram. There are no Norgas in carbamate group. It is only in organophosphate compounds. Mechanism of acetylcholine esterase inhibition by carbonate. Carbamates combined with stearic site in the active center of, that is the gutter of the acetylcholine esterase enzyme, and reversibly inhibits its activity, that is its ability to hydrolyze acetylcholine, and clinical manifestations are because of persistence of acetylcholine at neuromuscular junction, that is nicotinic junction, and muscarinic junctions in many places in body, which cause stimulation of peripheral and central receptors. There is gradual hydrolysis of carbamylated enzyme which frees the acetylcholine esterase slowly with half-life of binding of half hour or more. Therefore, duration of toxicity is essentially much less as compared with the toxicity caused by organophosphate compounds. Now, there are important differences between the inhibition of enzyme and clinical manifestations of organophosphate poisoning and carbamate poisoning. The combination of carbamate with acetylcholine is essentially reversible, and therefore duration of toxicity is 24 to 40 hours only, because carbamylated bond undergoes spontaneous hydrolysis gradually. Poisoning is accidental or suicidal organophosphates, whereas it is national oral dermal, which can be accidental also in carbon poisoning. Autonomic symptoms are seen in both conditions, and in carbamate poisoning, predominant autonomic effects are cholinergic. That is important rather than adrenergic. Now, intermediate syndrome can be seen in both these conditions, whereas delayed toxicity is not seen with carbamate poisoning. That is very important. There is only intermediate syndrome, that is because of inhibition of neuropathy targeted esterase, that is a tissue esterase in neurons. Now, oximes are not useful in general with pure carbamate poisoning unless there is a mixed poisoning, otherwise they are not recommended. The pharmacological actions and toxicological potential is because of stimulation of peripheral and central muscarinic receptors. There is central cortical and subcortical muscarinic receptor stimulation, manifesting as headache, dizziness, blurred vision, tremor, paresthesia. Mental depression, weakness, muscle twitching, confusion, delirium, hallucination, and seizures. Stimulation in general is followed by depression, and coma may occur with large dose. Stimulation of peripheral nicotinic receptors cause autonomic ganglionic stimulation, and actually paradoxic symptoms may be there. That is skeletal muscle fasciculations, mydriasis, tachycardia. All can be seen actually, although meiosis is a hallmark of the syndrome. Now, history of exposure in adult, usually dermal or intentionally oral. Children who play in grounds on which actually insecticides are sprayed get exposed to the toxic effects of the carbamates and manifest toxicity. This is very important. Now, manifestations are that the symptoms appear very quickly within 10 minutes of the exposure, and usually muscarinic receptors predominant. And one can use, remember, dumbbells as the acronym for defecation, urination, meiosis, bronchospasm, bronchoria, emesis, lacrimation, salivation. This is a typical muscarinic syndrome that occurs due to hyperstimulation of muscarinic receptors in various secretion glands and smooth muscles. Nicotinic manifestations could be there in the form of twitchings, flaccid respiratory paralysis secondary to persistent nicotinic stimulation, and that may contribute to major cause of death in carbamide poisoning. I told you earlier, sympathetic ganglionic stimulation may cause tachycardia, mydriasis, and hypertension, which unusually. Few points to consider are, in general, carbamates do not penetrate CNS to the same extent as organophosphate compounds. Adults have more muscular action and less CNS actions. Children show both CNS actions and peripheral actions, but CNS action may predominate also. Convulsions, hypotonia may also occur in children. Breathlessness and tightness of chest are very common manifestations in carbamate poisoning. And carbamates are generally metabolized by oxidation and conjugation, and conjugates are excreted by kidney in few days. So effect is short lasting. Since aging is not a feature of the carbamate poisoning, therefore effects are short lived only, and spontaneous hydrolysis results in freeing of acetylcholinesterase within hours after exposure. Carbamate poisoning follows a benign course compared to the organophosphate poisoning, and most of the patients should recover when adequately treated. The role of laboratory tests: RBC acetylcholinesterase estimation represents true cholinesterase enzyme which is found in neuronal synapses, whereas butyrylcholinesterase is synthesized in liver and is found in plasma. So it is plasma cholinesterase. Now, enzyme estimation is more useful in organophosphate poisoning, but has limited utility in carbamate poisoning. This is because red blood cell acetylcholinesterase activity returns to normal because of reversible nature of the binding, and therefore blood sample may not show actually if it is not taken earlier. Then blood sample may show normal cholinesterase, red cell cholinesterase activity. Whereas butyryl cholinesterase levels are so variable, therefore they are difficult to correlate and interpret. And therefore all the treatment should be based on clinical syndromic manifestations and not only on the laboratory tests. A few vignettes. Carbamates may protect from delayed neuropathy of organophosphates. By occupying the neuropathic esterase, which I talked about earlier, which cannot be further inhibited, that means phosphorylated by organophosphates. So no aging can occur. However, carbamates must be given much earlier and not late in organophosphate poisoning. Now this strategy remains to be substantiated in number of clinical studies. Latex gloves do not provide protection to healthcare workers and doctors from insecticides. So it is advisable to wear neoprene or nitrile gloves because they will only provide the adequate protection. And it is always advisable to use the complete PP kit with face cover in dealing with carbamate or organophosphorus poisoning, because vomiters may have carbamate or organophosphorus and that may be spilled over the skin of the doctor or close in skin, and that may actually result in absorption. Studies have shown potentially increased cholinesterase inactivation if pralidoxime is administered in case of carbamate poisoning. Later on, we will understand role of oxime, pralidoxime and oxime in carbamate poisoning. Methomyl poisoning specifically is associated with the high risk of cardiac arrest and arrhythmias. And acute pancreatitis has been reported with propoxar. So these vignettes can be useful in managing a particular case. Now, essential steps for the treatment is decontamination, respiratory evolution and patency, atropine administration, benzodiazepine administration, and administration of pralidoxim, particularly in undifferentiated cases. Now, decontamination is an essential step because carbamates are readily absorbed through skin. All clothing should be removed from the patient and the skin should be triple washed with water, then soap and water, and then rinsed again with water. These are essential steps. GI decontamination in heavy overdose is done if patient comes as early as within 1 hour, because as late much of the toxin will be absorbed. Nasogastric lavage can be done if patient comes early, and single dose activated charcoal may have a role. However, when these things are done, the respiratory protection must be done to avoid aspiration of the liquid and charcoal in the lungs. Now, respiratory management includes treatment of hypoxia and respiratory failure, which are the major causes of the death. And respiratory failure is because of bronchoria, pulmonary edema, muscular weakness with flaccid paralysis, and depression of CNS respiratory center, depending on the amount of the dose taken. Now, adequate ventilation and oxygenation are the sheet anchors for respiratory management, and early endotracheal intubation is also needed. If you require muscle relaxation, then use rocuronium and not the succinylcholine, because succinylcholine will have prolonged action because a cholinesterase enzyme is not available, which normally inactivates it. Role of atropine. Atropine is the main drug. It decreases the muscarinic manifestations, all the muscarinic manifestations, particularly it clears respiratory secretions also. Atropine its stabilizing doses are 1 to 3 milligram intravenously in adults or 0.05 milligram per kg IV in pediatrics, and the dose can be doubled every 5 minutes to achieve atropinization, that is reduction in the respiratory secretion, decreased bowel sounds, tachycardia, absence of bronchospasm, and semi-dilated pupil or absence of meiosis. Cardiovascular stability is also important indicator of adequate atropinization. Now, it is important to understand the therapeutic use of atropine for the other indication is much lower than the antidotal dose of atropine in the treatment of carbamate and organophosphate poisoning, and as much as 100 milligrams may be required in a given case. Atropinization also requires a maintenance dose which are always smaller, and that can be done by using 10 to 20% of the bolus dose per hour by intravenous route or by infusion. Should also be remembered that atropine does not reverse the muscular weakness because it is a nicotinic action and not the muscarinic action. The role of enzymes. The role of pralidoxim in organophosphate poisoning is well established. However, currently it is said that in a pure carbamate poisoning, there is no role of enzymes pralidoxim because carbamates dissociate from acetylcholinesterase spontaneously, and patients usually recover within 24 to 48 hours. And second reason is the pralidoxim itself may have weak anticholinesterase activity that may actually be adverse or worsen. And it has been actually seen that potentially increased acetylcholinesterase inactivation is seen if pralidoxim is given in cases of carbaryl poisoning. However, some benefits have been shown in few reports, individual reports, and they show that oximes may be effective in LD-CAR poisoning. At present, this controversy is not resolved. Therefore, the best approach would be to use oximes only in suspected undifferentiated poisoning where organophosphates and carbamates are given together. Otherwise, they will have little role. The role of benzodiazepines, diazepam. Diazepam is used to treat and prevent convulsions in adults 5 to 10 milligram intravenously slowly. Watch respiration every 15 minutes up to a maximum of 30 milligram. In children, dose is adequate milligram per kg, that is 0.25 to 0.40 milligram per kg IV slowly 5 to 10 minutes watching respiration. In some cases, phenytoin parenterally may be given if diazepam alone is not effective. In adults and children, accidentally or intentionally, the treatment is decontamination, respiratory support, use of atropine, and in mixed poisoning, use of oximes. Convulsions should be treated by benzodiazepines. Usually, diazepam is used. So this is all about carbamate poisoning. My next presentation would be on the oximes. Thank you and good day.